could be a spoonful of coffee. Well, could be a spoonful of tea. Well, now could be a spoon of your precious love, baby. Well, now good enough for me. And lies about that spoonful, cries about that spoonful, cried about that spoonful. Everybody fighting about it, baby, yeah. That spoon, that spoonful, that spoon, that spoonful, that spoon, that spoonful, baby, spoon, that spoonful. Could be a spoonful of diamond. Well, could be a spoonful of gold. Well, now could be a spoon of your precious love. Well, now satisfy my soul, yeah. They lied about that spoonful. They cried about that spoonful. Cried about that spoonful. Cried about that spoonful, then died about that spoonful. Cried about that spoonful. Well, could be a spoonful of water. Well, now save you from a desert sand. Well, now could be a spoon of your 45. Well, baby, I'll save you from another man. Then lied about that spoonful, cried about that spoonful, died about that spoonful. Well, man, lied about that spoonful, cried about that spoonful, lied about a spoonful. Well, that spoonful. Well, that spoon, that spoonful. Well, that spoon, that spoonful. That spoon, that spoonful. That spoon, that spoonful. Woohoo, woohoo! Hey everybody, it's Ramblin' Dan. I trust you got your cigar box guitar safe and sound in the mail, or maybe you came and picked it up. Anyway, hope you're happy with how it turned out. I'm pretty proud of my guitars these days, and let me tell you what, it made it with a lot of love for you. So, hope you enjoy it. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to play this thing, and the song that you just heard me play, I already know what you're thinking. I'll never be able to do that. Wow, Ramblin's been playing for a long time. I'll never be able to make it sound like that. Unfortunately, I have to tell you that you're wrong, because you're going to be able to play like that pretty soon. The cigar box guitar is incredibly simple and incredibly easy to play with just a few little tips that I'm about to share, some of my deepest secrets. My wife doesn't even know some of this stuff. I had a professor at Penn State. His name was Samuel Chan. He was escaped from communist China, and he was one of the greatest teachers I've ever had, and he taught biology, and he would start all of his, the beginning of every, semester, we called it, at Penn State. That's where I went, and he would start the beginning of every class by giving us a little talk about himself and all this, and then he would always say, I make it so easy everybody can understand. Isn't that great? So I'm going to make it so easy everybody can understand, I guarantee. That's pretty easy. I just finished this guitar up today, so I'll quickly take a moment to show it to you. All of my guitars that you'll be playing anyway are 3 strings, just like this one. This one's a cool box that I got, probably like I got your box from Bongo Ron's Cigar shop in Old Saybrook. But I put little fun things. This is the patented cigar box, Bongo Ron bridge. Bongo invented it. Notice that the strings are pretty far off the fretboard, and that's cool, that's fine. We'll show you how to navigate that. And you may have supersized your guitar and got a genuine Ramco recycled ladies belt strap, homemade. Each one is custom and kind of fit to the color and the shape and all that of the guitar, and I really like the way this one turned out. That's beautiful, isn't it? And I fool around with different things. Your guitar might be a little bit different than this one. I try to customize each one and put little doodads on them and make them look pretty. This one's got cool little corner braces things on it, and you know, some little things. So that's that one. And first thing out of the box you might want to do, it was tuned very meticulously at the factory here, but no doubt it got out of tune in transit, so you want to tune the guitar up. So my guitars, when they're shipped out at least, are tuned in open C. All right, and the notes for open C tuning are C, G, and C. Low string C, middle string G, and high string C. So 2 of the notes are the same. The outside strings are both C's. All right, now, how to get this thing in tune? Well, I have a piano behind me, and you could find those notes on a piano, C, G, and C, and try to make the strings sound like that. Most common is to, move this a little bit, most common is to use one of these little things, an electronic guitar tuner. They make these now and they're pretty inexpensive. The cheapest ones that I've seen are about $9. There's one brand called Snark, and if you Google that on the internet, you can get them on eBay, I think it is, with $9, $10, and it includes shipping. So those work. This one's a D'Addario mini tuner, I think. I like these because they're small, and you know, the Snarks are kind of big things that you put on the end, but they all work. It doesn't matter. Now the way these tuners work, by the way, is you turn it on. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, the back side of it, but you get a little display that you can see from, you know, where you are. And when you play the note, you'll see it displayed, and it'll tell you what note it is. And when you get the guitar, it could be a B or a B flat or whatever. I don't know what it's going to be by the time the shippers got through with it, but that one's pretty close to C. Anyway, you can see that you can tune it up or tune it down to make it be in the middle to where that C is. Next one I'm looking at is G. You can't really see it, but so now that's off, as you can tell. You can turn it the other way, and this one's green when it's right. If you turn it too high, it turns to a different color. Now the other alternative is you can get an app on your phone, and there's a whole bunch of free apps out there. You can just search for guitar tuners. I just happen to pick this one. It's called Instuner, Instuner, and this one works great. So I'm going to open that up and get any one of these apps and do the same thing. Most of these are acoustic. You put it down there where the string is, and it'll tell you what note it is, and you just adjust it until you get it where you want it. Again, the notes are C, G, C. Now it's a one note. You theory people that know anything about guitar or anything like that, 1, 5, 1. Those are the notes. The root note, the fifth, and another root note, an octave higher. gives you a beautiful open chord. All right, so here we are. Now, the next thing to know about your guitar is I have placed these little dots. Some of your guitars have carpet tacks. This one I just got some cool little silver screws down at the hardware store today and put those on here. I don't know, can you see that? Now, all of your guitars are going to have the same spacing between the dots, and everybody will have in the middle, this is precisely in the middle of between the nut and the bridge, is a spot where there's 2 dots. And that's a special spot because that is, if you play this note open and you slide it up to that spot where the 2 dots are, that's the same note. So this note and that note are the same. Now the beautiful thing about these dots is that those are spots where the notes of the blues or minor pentatonic scale are located. Now you don't need to know what that is or what it means, doesn't matter, but it's true. Those are the good notes, the so-called good notes for playing blues. If you're a blues player, you play notes that are in the minor pentatonic scale. So you don't need to know that because here they are. All of these spots where there's a dot, those are notes that are good notes. They're in the minor pentatonic scale. So whatever you play, you're in the key of C, right? This is C. If you play any of these notes, it's going to sound good. Sounds good, right? Okay. So let's talk about how do you play those notes. You know where they are, but what do you do to make them sound like that? Okay, well, we're of course using a slide, and no doubt you found like a Cracker Jack's little prize stuffed away somewhere in the packing material of your cigar box guitar. If you supersize your guitar with a strap and a slide anyway, you'll find in there somewhere a wonderfully hand-broken bottle, broken by Ramblin' Dan Stevens himself, and then you smooth off the rough edges. So make sure you check. I smoothed them all off, but make sure you check just to make sure there's nothing sharp on there. If there is, just take a piece of sandpaper or something, or emery paper or a file, and just knock that little edge off. It's easy to do, but I don't think you have that problem because I smoothed them out before I sent them out. But just in case. So you got the slide, right? Now, you can put it on essentially, any finger. Most blues guys that I've ever seen wear it on your little finger, all right? Now, the bottles are all different, and your fingers are all different. So I think this will fit, hopefully. But anyway, this one doesn't fit me, right? Because it's too small. But if I turn it around this way, it fits great, all right? If it's really loose and wobbly on your finger, makes it a little harder to play. So you might want to stuff it with toilet paper or a little piece of foam or something just to make sure it's nice and snug on your finger. But anyway, most people that I know like to wear it on their little finger. Some people wear it on their ring finger. That works too. It's maybe a little easier in a way to control. Most people aren't used to using their little finger for just about anything. But if you want to be a slide player and you ever end up transferring to the guitar, it's nice to be able to play with your little finger, because then you got these other fingers you can use to make chords. That's not an issue on this because we're not going to be making any chords. We're strictly going to be playing slide. So you can try both those methods and see, fool around with it, see what you like. Either one works. So there's that. Okay, now the next thing is when you put the slide on the string, Obviously, you're not going to press it all the way down to the fretboard because there aren't any frets, so you don't want to press it real hard down like you would if you're playing the guitar. You actually just want this slide to just glide. You're just touching the string, and you're not really pressing hard at all. You're just giving it enough pressure so you can get a nice clean tone, and you just glide that thing across the top of the strings like this. Okay? So let's just stop there for a moment and try that, okay? Get your slide on. Probably going to feel real awkward at first, but in a surprisingly short amount of time, you'll get used to it. Now, just play for now on the first string. The old blues guys used to have instruments called diddly bows with just one string. In fact, I make diddly bows too. Here's a beautiful diddly bow that I just finished up today. It's a one-stringed instrument made out of a beautiful, from Paris, kind of a beautiful candy tin that my wife got for me. But anyway, regardless of that, you can play just on one string. So now, by the way, with your right hand, you can use a guitar pick. I happen to be using finger picks. You don't need these. You can use a regular guitar pick, or you can simply use your fingers, your thumb or a couple of your fingers, whatever you want to do. That doesn't matter. So with your right hand, just whatever you want to use, just play one string. Okay? Now watch this. Putting it on the first dot. Get that tone down with your slide. Get used to putting the slide on the string and making a nice sound. You don't want it to sound like this, you know, buzzy or anything. You want it to have a nice clean tone. Now go up to the second dot. We're on the first string. Just play anything, like whatever you feel like doing, but we're going to be working on our slide technique, right? So put your slide on the first fret. Try to get a nice tone. If you don't press hard enough, you'll get a sound like that. You don't have to press real hard. Just press hard enough that you get a nice, clean tone, okay? Let's move up to the second dot. The third dot. Just try to move around all those dots. Remember now, the spot with the two markers on it is the same note as this. In this case, it's a C. Okay? And you can practice sliding up to the note. You can slide down from a note. Or you can we'll talk more about slide technique like that a little bit later. Try to keep it simple for now, but so just get used to where all those notes are. You can't hit a wrong note. So you can just have some fun doing this. None of these notes are bad, they're all good, see? I'm just doing this at random. I'm just doing whatever kind of comes to mind. I'm just hitting the spots. Okay? All right, so that's fun, huh? Hours of fun just with that right there. All right, let's learn some licks and try to play a song. We'll play the I'm actually going to play the song that I started out this little video with, Spoonful. It's an old traditional blues song. Everybody's recorded it. I don't even know who wrote it. I've heard it done by Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, you know, everybody plays Spoonful just about. But anyway, it's so easy. Watch this. If we're just playing on one string now, right? I'm sliding up from below the first dot anywhere, doesn't matter where. I'm sliding up to the first dot. I'm stopping there. And I'm coming back, sliding again. Then there's an open note, open string, and then slide. Just like that. Anybody can do that. A kid can do that. Anyone. Watch. That spoon, that spoon, that spoonful, that spoon, that spoonful, that spoon, that spoon, that spoonful. So, slide to the first, open, slide, open, slide, open. So simple. There's a little bit of rhythm to it. 1 and 2 and 3, rest, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, rest, 4. There's no note played where I say rest. So 1 and 2 and 3, rest, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 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 4. Right? So easy. Easy. All right, now here's something fun. You can play anything like that on the first string. Sounds great. Or actually other strings. Like, listen to this. Remember that the two outside strings are the same note. They're both C, right? So anything you play on this string, you can automatically play it on the bottom string. That's fun. So right there you got a little variation. Right? So easy. All right, so now check this out. Because this is an open chord, you can play this note or this little lick on the first string, but you can strum with your thumb or your guitar pick or whatever you're using. Watch this. Still play this like you were, but strum. Yeah. Yeah. Now, so you've already got 3 variations. You've got this. Play that. Play it that way. Or you can play it this way. Or you can play it this way. Never thought about it, but you could also probably, I guess, play it the other way with the low string. I don't like the sound of that as much, but anyway, I like this better. Now, guess what else you can do? You can cover all of the strings, all 3 strings with your slide, and play them all at the same time and slide all at the same time. Now that takes a little more practice because it's awkward at first, and your slide's probably going to be jangling around, and you're not used to using your little finger. But with a little bit of practice, not very much, just a little bit of persistence, and I think you'll be able to get a nice tone. Now, the key is you want the slide to be directly straight across. You don't want it to be like this, or you're not going to get the right sound. You got to have it straight across. And then all three strings are being sounded at the dot, right? Not off of the dot. So practice that. Okay? All right, now, don't forget that I told you in the very beginning that one of the great important spots on the guitar is right here, which is the midpoint where you can find the octave, which means it's the same note as the beginning. Open C, an octave, eight notes up from C. Here's another one. Okay? So whenever you're playing open, you could also play that and it would still work. Okay? So, right? That's the open note. So let's do it this way. Right? Same note. Yeah. You can stay on that one too. You don't have to go back to the bottom. Okay? It's getting fun, isn't it? Are you getting it? I hope you're getting it. Hey, listen, by the way, I'd really love it if you could send me a video of your playing, especially maybe a before and after or something, or any part in your progress. I'd love to see how you're doing, and I will, I'll do something. I'll respond. I'll let you call you, or I'll text you, or maybe send you a video. I haven't decided, but I'll respond. So send me a video. I want to make sure you're getting it, okay? If you're not getting it, don't be afraid to ask questions. All right, so we got this. Right hand. You can just do simple. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. But when you start feeling a little more comfortable with it and you get used to it, you can maybe stick a little bit of rhythm in there, a little strumming or something. I'm playing with my fingers, so I'm using my thumb and my first finger and just kind of down with my thumb and up with my finger. If you got a guitar pick, you can up and down with that. So you can strum straight on the beat, or you can try to add a little groove to it. Okay? There's more you can do, but let's just keep it simple for now. Well, now I gotta open this up again. It keeps shutting down, but I think my video's still going. I hope, yeah. Well, could be a spoonful of coffee. I could just strum like that. Nothing here on the left hand. Could be a spoonful of tea. Well, could be a spoon of your fresh precious love good enough for me? Somebody lies about that spoonful, cried about that spoonful, died about that spoonful. That spoon, that spoon, that spoonful, spoon, that spoon, that spoonful, spoon, that spoon, that spoonful. Now watch this. I'm just gonna strum that like that. It's really nothing. But I'm gonna add this note here on the middle, the octave, right? Could be a spoonful of coffee, could be a spoonful of tea. Well, could be a spoon of your precious love. Well, that's good enough for me. Right? So easy, so fun. Now let's work on the lick that I showed you. Play it on one string. Now that rest, I'm filling in with a little diddly-do there, but just for fun. I'm back and forth with my thumb and my finger. If you got a guitar pick, you could do it that way. Just putting a little rhythm in there. You don't have to do that though. Remember that? So you can experiment, right? Just have some fun with it. You can't hit a wrong note. Spoon, that spoon, that spoonful, that spoon, that spoon, that spoonful, spoon, that spoonful, spoon, that spoon, that spoonful. Well, it could be a spoonful of coffee. Just open, nothing, right? Could be a spoonful of tea. Well, could be a spoon of your precious love. That good enough for me. Somebody lied about that spoonful, lied about that spoonful, lied about that spoonful, lied about that. All right? All right, let's have some fun. Remember, any of these spots are all good, right? So I'm just going to hit stuff. Any of them. I'm not thinking about it. I'm laying it on any of those little dots. More fun than that. All right? All right. Now, even more fun. These two outside strings are both the same, right? The inside one is a fifth. In this case, it's a G. But those notes still work, right? So I'm going to hit notes on the outside string, then I'm going to hit some on the inside string. Again, you can use your fingers, or if you got a pick you want to use. See, that's outside string, inside string. Yeah. Outside. endless fun, and you can experiment with that for the rest of your life and have a good time with it. There we go. All right, I wanted to show you one other little technique, very common in slide playing, and it really is the essence of slide. It's beautiful, very expressive. It's called vibrato. Vibrato is kind of a warbling, wavy sound. Sounds like this. Okay? So when you're playing slide, you can hit the notes individually. Right? You can slide up. Right? But typically, when you get wherever you're going, it's fun to put a little vibrato into the mix. It just gives it a real cool little sound. Now, vibrato is a very expressive tool because you can do a short, tight vibrato. Could be slow, fast. It could be you could make it a wider, faster. You know, and all that gives you some fun things to play with in order to express emotion. That's how you express emotion when you're playing slide. See? So you can fool around with that vibrato. Another good thing about vibrato is if you don't hit the note quite right on, let's say you're a little bit off, you hit the vibrato, it's in there somewhere. So the ear will pick it up, the right tone, you know. So it's a little bit forgiving. The great thing about slide guitar playing too is it's again very evocative, very emotive, very expressive, and part of the reason for that is this is one of the few instruments that you can play that slides. You know, the voice is so expressive because, you know, it just doesn't hit note like this, note there, note down. It's all those notes in between. In music, it's called microtones. There's an infinite number of little tones between that note, for instance, and this note, right? Listen to all this. You know, all of those are little notes, right? And as long as you end up where you're going, where you want to get to, all those little lead up notes, microtones, are going to make your playing sound just so beautiful. Remember, you can slide down too. Okay? So, let's go through the song again. I'm going to just sing it and play it like I would perform it, like I did in the very beginning. And, you know, you can play along. And let me know how you're doing with that song. We'll do some other stuff too. And there's all kinds of things we can do. You know, that was a particular groove that we did, right? There's all kinds of grooves, you know. But you got your hands full with just getting your slide out and fooling around with it and getting used to it. And now you got a song you can play, and I hope you enjoy that. Let me know how you're doing, and I'm really happy to hear from you. I'm at ramblindan@mac.com, or you can reach me by phone at 860-227-4316, and I'd be more than happy to take your call and to chat with you. Or how else could you reach me? Facebook, I suppose. I have a website, danstevens.net. You can follow me around the country. Do whatever you want to do. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying the guitar. Let me know how you like it. And adios until we meet again. As the great slide player Mississippi Fred used to say, and I got to see Mississippi Fred playing when he was still living and I was young. Mississippi Fred used to say, "I gots to go, gots to go." So anyway, until we meet again, folks and good friends, Ramblin' Dan, over and out.